I went to Hanna High School. Actually, for one of my daughters, we had to do a project a little bit ago, and I'm like seventh or eighth generation. I think the eighth generation was in Abbeville, and that did not count. So if they'd have been about 20 or 30 miles closer, I would have had eight. But been in Anderson a long time on both my mom and dad's side of the family.
And where did you go to college?
I went to the University of Georgia. Graduated there in '93.
And what did you major in?
I was in business administration. Kind of growing up, my path was my dad was the Buick dealer in town. He had Buick, Pontiac, Chrysler, and it was always a plan to kind of take over the dealership. And then he started dealing with cancer issues in the '80s, and so I'd kind of gone a path to keep flexible where if that happened, I could still do it. But he developed cancer again in the '90s, and he had to sell the dealership, and plans changed. So I kind of became more flexible with everything and got into banking. I actually went and interned for Butler Derrick in Washington, D.C. I graduated in the summer, which was an awkward time to find a job. And Georgia was on the quarter system back then, which nobody does anymore. Just always put us at a disadvantage in the summer. So I came back, started working for Carolina First Bank, which has been bought probably several times in Greenville, and then came back home to work for Perpetual Bank and a few others. So that's kind of the career path I was on for about 15 years or so.
And then you started a business.
We did. Downtown was kind of in a struggling phase. It was mostly like your finance companies and just attorneys' offices. There was no retail really downtown. So in 2007, my wife and I decided to start a boutique named after our daughters. Blake and Brady are our daughters, so we named it Blake and Brady. Went down on the corner beside McIntosh and Sullivan and made a boutique, and it actually went really well. Some of Joe's, the restaurant started about the same time we did. The city was real good at we didn't want to be open on Saturdays because it was a ghost town on Saturdays, and they were John Moore and a few others like, please, we have to kind of develop Anderson and make it more than just a weekday thing. So we opened on Saturdays, and it wound up becoming one of our best days. But we had that for around 15 years as well. And I tell you, there's nothing, banking was good, but there's nothing like being a small business owner, holding your feet to the fire, and on a daily basis, just having to churn it to create sales and income. It was a fun and a great learning experience. No business school can teach you everything you learn when you own your own small business.
And you've also stayed involved in community activities as well, right?
I have. So that's one thing I think my dad taught me was he was, even when he was dealing with cancer treatments and incapacitated, he was still on 8 or 9 boards in town. So I love working. I work with what used to be the Anderson Disabilities and Special Needs. It's now Inspire Abilities. I've been on that board a few years, and that's appointed by the local delegation. Imagine Anderson is a board that is kind of created by a county city plan back about 20 years ago. It's housed under the United Way, and I've been the president for that board for a couple of years. That's very involved with different things about kind of keeping Anderson on the right path, making sure we're doing the right things. And did Rotary for a while. I need to get back into Rotary. I was past president there. I'm probably leaving so much stuff out.
But you mentioned the disability thing. Y'all just had a big opening for a new facility?
We did, and it honestly, talking about the right time and the right place. When I got on that board, they had been trying to do a greenhouse project. They were waiting on the county to help them with the land near the Civic Center. They had the people to do it. They had the master gardeners, everything in place, but just couldn't get it off the ground. And it just so happened I had really good contacts with probably the biggest greenhouse distributor in the state, who is in Anderson, and also a general contractor that could put this whole thing together and had success doing that in the past. So we got the land from the county, we got a general contractor in place, we had the funds in place, and then it's broken ground, it's moving. Didn't rain for about a month or so straight, so it allowed some good progress to be made. So that is really exciting, creating a project to keep the I hate to say the disabled community active. There's just very hard to find things to stay active, to find work for them, and to be able to have a fenced-in area that's going to have active gardens on a regular basis. That I think they'll start probably January, February using it. But it might be one of the, I think, more exciting, unique things that Anderson County has going right now is that project and who it's helping and how many it will help. It's going to be amazing. I'm excited.
And a lot of people know you from Touchdown Club.
Touchdown Club. Should mention that one. Yeah. So a few years ago, Bill Brissy, who is just a local legend, he's been around, he's 90, 91 now, and he ran that for about 40 years. I think in 81 is when it started. And decided to step down a few years ago. I decided to step up. We were meeting at the library. We kind of hit it right during, I think I took the gavel maybe 2 weeks before COVID hit and all the schools started to close down, and the following year was a huge challenge. We were able to meet at Tucker's and have maybe 20 people there. Barely could have the players and their families there, and did it through videos and all that. And now we've moved into the AIT campus. We average over 100 a week, probably 120 some days. It's probably one of the, to me, it's been an eye-opener because it actually keeps the county together. Our county's kind of splintered out. It's got a lot of different areas. Some feel closer to Greenville than Anderson. And this brings all the local high schools to us on a weekly basis. We're all pulling for each other. We're rooting for each other. But you have the Wrens and Powdersvilles and the Palmettas out kind of closer to Greenville. And you have the Crescents, Pendletons, and then all your Anderson schools, everybody getting together and seeing what each one's doing, celebrating each other's players with successes. And this year, I hate to get into a football talk, but all 8 schools have made the playoffs. All 8 schools won last week. Well, 7 played. BHP, we're giving them credit because they played when the storm, before it shut everything down. But every team won. And we've got, I think 2 or 3 are number 1 in their classifications going into the playoffs. So Anderson County is, I'd put our county up against anybody on that side of things. The high school football is amazing. 2 of the top 5 in the state up for Mr. Football are Anderson County. So it's amazing. I could talk about that a long time.
Well, obviously you're busy. Why county council? What prompted you to run for county council?
I tell you, I've always wanted to get into politics, but my dad, he wanted to get into politics as well, but he always had this mantra that if somebody good has the position, don't run against them. Like, let the good people stay. Don't run for your own ego. So we always had good people, and everything I voted for at the election last Tuesday, like, it's all good people that are representing me. But I had met with John Wright Jr. back in January. He let me know of his plans to kind of step away from the council, and I talked with my wife and my daughters, and like, absolutely, I love the town. Like, I have nothing really personally to gain from anything with county council. I just want to make Anderson better. I see people complain all the time. I complained years ago things that bother me with our county, and now I got a chance to make it better. Now I have a chance to make it better, and I want to do that. I want to put all my energy and time into helping people and moving Anderson forward. We've always kind of been the stepchild to Greenville and even Spartanburg, and I think it's our time to kind of shine now.
And you've been coming to council meetings. What do you see some of the challenges you're going to be facing?
Oh, so I've met all the council members, and they have been so nice. If you dare to go on social media and you'll see people characterized as all different sorts of things. I've met with all of them. These folks are so busy. Seems like everything with council is either at 7 in the morning or 6 o'clock at night. So having a family environment is very tough with what they go through with all the meetings, but they are so positive. I think there's a lot of agreement between people, and I like that. I don't like a whole lot of controversy and a lot of 4-3 votes on things, but there's a great mixture that kind of keeps everything checks and balances. There's certain members that have keys. Some things are more important to them than others, and I think it's just a great working group of people, and I've enjoyed watching them. I think we've got a great representation of Anderson and smart people. Like, I don't think people give credit. These aren't just people that are just random people. They're very smart, and this job, running the county is so complicated. I have spent probably 5 or 6 months meeting with every department I can, getting to understand it. I've met with Greg and the folks over at MedShore. That is extremely complicated things going on over there. I mean, you look at dealing with wastewater, dealing with the sheriff's department. That's half of our budget is the sheriff's department. I don't think we could have a better sheriff's department than what we have in Anderson right now. There's so many things that people don't realize, and I am amazed at what the county does, how they do it, and the people working for the county are really, really good. So I've learned a lot. I'm glad that I'm not going in January flat-footed and having to pick it all up then. I appreciate the opportunity to kind of learn, because it could be overwhelming if you really didn't know what you were getting into. There are a lot of moving parts to Anderson County, and it's impressive. Rusty runs a great outfit with the Anderson County.